If there's one thing I've been a proponent of from day one, it's communications during emergencies or disasters. And today I'm going to show you something that will allow you to do that. This is the Retevis RT49 long-range walkie-talkies. Alright everybody, welcome back. So today I've got in some new walkie-talkies here that I'm going to be leaving out here for communications around the house. You know, if I'm doing something and I have somebody helping me and they're in the back and I'm in the front, whatever, these are kind of handy to have. Communications is a really big deal when there's emergencies or disasters, be they man-made or natural, and it really will help you see what's going on in your area or communicate with somebody and possibly render aid or get aid yourself. So, these are FRS radios. Now, I'm going to explain FRS really quick. They're authorized on 22 channels. They're in the 462 megahertz by 467, I believe, megahertz range, all of which is shared with General Mobile Radio Service, or GMRS, and FRS, or Family Radio Service, is licensed by rule only. In other words, these are on the same frequencies as GMRS, but there's certain rules that make these FRS radios. Things like, you know, a certain amount of power level, the antenna isn't detachable, stuff like that. So, that's how they work, that's the range they're at. And again, you know, these work best on a flat surface or open area, point-to-point kind of thing. They'd work great in the city if you were in a high-rise building here and your friend was in a high-rise building here. They'd work amazing, you know. They also work good out here because it's very flat area. It's flat land. Now, if you're worried about being in the front of your house at 75 yards and you got the house separating you in the back of your house at another 75 yards, that's fine. I'm talking about longer distances. A lot of these give out false, you know, claims of, oh, reaches 15 miles. Yeah, if it's 15 miles straight flat, you know, and absolutely nothing in the middle. So I have found these to be very powerful, however. They have a nice punch to them. I don't know if they've just upped the gain on the antenna or what, but they do seem to work very well for that purpose. So these are IPX4 waterproof protected, so you don't have to worry about getting them wet or rain or anything like that. Now, they're not anything more than IPX4, so you're not going to dunk them in water or test them underneath water. But if it's raining out and you need to use it, if it gets a couple drops on it, it's not going to be a problem. You know, everything's pretty well sealed up. I'll give you a look at the radio first, kind of around it. There's all your points here. And it's all pretty well sealed up. This is your batteries in the back. We'll get into the batteries in a second. Now, it does have a built-in flashlight, and I actually kind of like that. You know, when I first started seeing flashlights on radios, I thought they were very gimmicky, but I actually am starting to like it. It's not the brightest flashlight in the world. Let me turn off this light here so you can see. So there you go. See what it looks like. It's not the brightest flashlight in the world, but again, it'll get you to where there's more light. And that's kind of handy in a completely pitch-black environment, and that's your lamp button there, by the way. We'll get into all the functions later. In a completely pitch-black environment, that can be really handy. Now, you see I have them in a charger here. It does come with a charger. You can drop both of them in here, and that I like that because some of the other FRS radios that with rechargeable batteries don't have that, and it's kind of annoying to have to plug each one in and charge it up, and then plug the other one in and charge it up. So I like the fact that they sit in there and they have rechargeable batteries, and I can just leave them sitting in there, and when they're done, they'll just stop charging. So it is kind of convenient to have that. Now let's talk about the screen for a second. The LCD screen and the large keyboard here, very easy to use, very easy to see. This is a dot matrix screen. And as you can tell there, it's even in this bright light in here, and it is very bright in here, you just can't tell. But you can see it, you can read it. The screen is very big, easy to read. That's your squelch level here, like that, okay? Really easy to use. And really simple to mess around with. The menu is pretty intuitive. We'll go through the menu in a second. It does have the weather radio in here. It's got NOAA channels on here stored, and it will lock onto the strongest NOAA weather channel, and you'll be able to hear your broadcast from there. And we'll use that in a second too when we get into the menu functions. It has three 1200 milliamp hour nickel metal hydride rechargeable batteries. Let you talk all day long, pretty much. You have your desktop charger, and you also do have the option, if one is empty and one is full, of just charging one up while the other one is already full. So if you only need one of these charged up, you can do that too. You don't have to stick it in here while the other one's going or whatever. Let me turn that off. And that's your on and off button, the call button. You'll push and hold to turn that on and off. Now, this does have a Vox function, and I'll demo that in a second too. It's a good tool for you when you're active and want to keep your hands free, but remember, voice activated means it's voice activated, it's noise activated, it's anything you do activated. So it can be very annoying for other people that are listening in if you're trying to, reply back to you and you keep talking, or if you got it on your shirt and it's rustling around. You can set the Vox levels. I will show you that in a sec here. Alright, so you see a blinking 0 there, and I'm going to take the Vox level up to 3. You can go 3, 2, 1, or 0. And that's sensitivity levels. Like if you want it to be, not too sensitive, you'll put it on 2. So every time you talk, it will trigger it. Now, if you are using Vox, remember that you have to give it a minute to get caught up, okay? So we're going to take this out of its thing there. You'll notice it has Vox. 1, 2, 3, 4. You'll notice it's transmitting. See the little blinking lights there? So I'm going to turn on the other radio and show you how that can be handy, and it can also be kind of annoying too. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very, very close to it, and I have all these lights on here. So, see how it works? I'm talking into this radio, and the other radio is transmitting. But the problem is, if I'm rustling around something on my shirt, it's going to do that the whole time too. So you have to kind of be careful with Vox. I'm going to take it out of Vox mode here. I'm holding on the menu. And while it's transmitting, you can't mess with anything. So let me just be quiet for a second. Okay, let's go through the menu. That's your channel and your subtone. That's your power, and there's your Vox. We're going to take it down to 0 again, then hit menu and get out of there. So now you notice it's not transmitting anymore, and I'm hitting the button on the side, and it's transmitting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. There. So you can see how that works. Fairly simple, fairly easy to understand. However, it can be really, really annoying if you're wearing it under bulky clothing and it keeps activating the microphone. Now, next up, we will set the channels and the volume. You're going to go through here. You're going to hit monitor. Okay, that allows you to monitor without the squelch. So if you hear a faint signal in there and you're not sure, you push down monitor, and you can do that. You can put it into scan, and it will scan through all of the channels, all 22 channels. Okay, you can go back over here and set your channel volume. This is your power. Okay, that's your volume. Okay, I like to keep them about 4. 4 is a good level for this radio. So it's a fairly simple operation there. If you want to use the sub-audible tones, okay, this does come with what they call privacy tones or sub-audible tones. Sub-audible meaning you won't hear it over the radio. The one thing I want to tell people about that, and I always let people know that, is yes, you will not be bothered by other outside signals. Let's say I put this on channel 1. Now you see I have a 0 there. Let's say there's a 4 there. So my sub-audible tone on here is 4. And I tell the person receiving they should put their radio on channel 1, sub-audible tone 4. We will only hear each other. But that doesn't mean that anybody else on channel 1 won't hear your transmissions. So no matter what tone you're using, you're still listenable. You're still monitorable. It's just a way to kind of keep it from getting in the way of other people talking over you. Now, if I were to sit here on channel 1 and key up, you wouldn't hear me keying up if you had that 4 there, or whatever. I think there's something like 2,600 different, 2,262 different combinations. So if I had, a 4 there or a 6 there or whatever, you wouldn't hear me talking or keying up, but the other person wouldn't be able to reach you because he's still transmitting on that frequency. So sub-audible tones work well in noisy environments, but they're not privacy codes. I like to call them privacy codes, and that kind of drives me nuts. So I've been really surprised with how good the audio was on this. As you heard, I was a little too close to the light up top, it was buzzing, but as you heard, the audio is fairly strong and punchy on this. Most FRS radios, the audio is kind of an afterthought, and they don't really care, it's like, you can hear it, it's good enough. This actually sounds really, really good. You do have the adapter up top here if you want to plug in a headset, so that's kind of handy too. So I'm going to test these out today. I'm going to drive about, a half mile down the road, and it is a straight shot. You'll see on the camera I bring with me, you'll be able to see my house. It's a straight shot down the road, but you'll be able to transmit. And I'm going to leave this camera running with one of these radios sitting here, and I'm going to drive out there, and we're going to test the audio, and I'm going to give you a perspective from both ends, so you see me talking and you hear what it sounds like as it's coming through here. The batteries on this, you got about 7 or 8 hours to fully charge them. So remember that when you're using these, if you're using one and somebody else is using a different FRS radio, when you got about 6 hours, maybe you want to put that on the charger and pick that one up. So just a little heads up on that. Now you do have a dual watch on here, and that's programmable in your menu. The dual watch will allow you to watch 2 different channels at the same time. It's unlike the scan, because the scan will just go through every single channel till it hears something and stops. The dual watch, let's say your group is on channel 1 and channel 4. So what you'll do is you'll program 4 and 1 in there, and you'll hit the dual watch, and it will go back and forth, until you find the person on that channel and you're able to listen in. So it's kind of a handy feature, that way you can listen to whatever's going on either channel. It's kind of almost like a ham radio with a dual receive, dual display type thing, except it isn't dual receive. If one's talking, you're not going to hear what's going on in the other channel. So let's get these outside and test them out. Alright, so I'm headed out now. I'm going to start up the car and I'll edit all that out for you so you don't have to sit and watch me driving. And we'll get over to where I'm going to go, and I'll show you approximately where it is in relation to my house. And I'll let you hear the sound on this radio and then show you what it looks like from this radio on my end. Alright, so if you can see, let me see if I can get my finger in the lens there. Oh, whoa, there we go. I'm using my phone out here. That's my house right there. Okay, so I am a good, I don't know, I'd say 500 yards or so away, maybe more. We're going to try it out now. And I got the radio here, okay? So we're going to, let me get it in the right position here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, testing. 1, 2, 3, 4. How am I sounding? Can you hear me? Does it sound good? All right. Now we're going to switch inside and take a look to see what that sounded like. And 1, 2, 3, 4, testing. 1, 2, 3, 4. How am I sounding? Can you hear me? Does it sound good? All right. So definitely going through this distance plus that. And like I'm saying, if you're a nearby neighbor, anywhere on this street, anywhere there we go. If you're a nearby neighbor anywhere on that street, you'd easily be able to reach where we're going here. So try one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing. This is the Retevis RT49 test. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing. This is the Retevis RT49 test. All right, let's get back inside and see how that sounded. All right, I'm back inside. You saw how well that worked. Actually, from my odometer, I zeroed it out before I left. And I'd driven about 1.5 miles. So that's about, because I went around and down and over. So that's about a half mile away from my house. And you saw how clear that sounded. It sounded really, really good. I really am impressed with these radios as time progresses. I mean, when I first bought my first pair of FRS radios, we're talking around 2001. They were nowhere near that kind of quality or range. Even a half mile would have been all staticky and garbled. So definitely a good deal. They're definitely a good price. Okay, this is a 2-pack. You can pick these up right now, as it's shown, for $33.99, so $34. And they also have a 4-pack. So for 2 of them at $34, that's about $17 each. That's a really good deal. Plus you're getting the base charger. You're getting the plug, which I have plugged in back here. And this plug can also individually charge these. I can pull it out of here and plug it into each one individually like I showed you. You're getting that, you're getting the charging base, and you're getting a manual. An actually good manual. I'm glad to see that a lot of these companies have started putting useful information in the manual on how to do stuff fairly easily. You can find stuff right away. If I want to learn how to turn the weather on, I can do that with the weather button right down there. I just hold it in place, and it'll either give me my lamp for a quick press, or a long press will give me the weather station. So definitely a cool deal. I'm really impressed with them. I will put a link down below in my Amazon store. Oh, I forgot to mention too, they come with rechargeable batteries. You'll put the batteries in like this. You got a lock on the back there. Got to push that lock over and pull it right off. I got the clip on now, so it's kind of tough. Let me remove the clip. Okay, and you'll get the clips too. There, and there's your rechargeable batteries. So you see, these are 1200 milliamp hour batteries. So there you go, real simple to do. You're going to put that back on the back, slide it into place, push down, push the lock over, And then to put your clip on, you're going to literally slide it in until you hear it click. And that's it. Your clip is on there. So, definitely a good deal. Like I said, I will put a link down below in the description where you can pick these up directly in my store. Below that will be my Amazon store as well. You can check in there. My Amazon affiliate store has a lot of the stuff that I review, along with some products that I think are useful. Don't forget to check that out. If there's nothing in the store you like, just click the link and shop as you normally would. Don't forget to check out our Thrive Life link down below as well, and our Food for Patriots link. In there, they have food in stock, ready to ship. You got $100 off a 4-week kit for a family, so you can get that, get it really quick, and you can get it in your house and have it set and ready to go. I know with the uncertain times we're facing, having food on hand is definitely a good idea. So don't forget to check that out. That's preparewithiridium.com. Preparewithiridium.com. All one word, and you'll get that deal there. Anyway, folks, I thank you for watching. Stay safe and stay prepared.